Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Just Saying Football with Jack and Sean. I'm your host, Sean Gann, alongside my partner, Jack McNicholas. We're here to bring you news, notes, weekly updates, and game analysis of your favorite teams from around the league. If you had not had the chance, go check out our website at justsayingfootball.com and follow us on Instagram at justsayingNoGWJS for article and video updates. Talking about players who are going to get paid after the 2021 season, Jack. I just got to start off really quick because there's a lot circulating his team and his quarterback, and then his comments about his future and wanting to play with his former quarterback, Derek Carr. Davante Adams, got 1 year left on his contract. By far one of the top tier wide receivers in the league, according to Pro Football Focus. He was the number one ranked wide receiver with the 92.0, 17 total touchdowns, 4 straight Pro Bowl nods, and was an All-Pro last year. He's freaking elite, I think, regardless of whether or not Aaron Rodgers is going to be playing or not going to be playing with the Packers. Adams will find a way to get the ball, will find a way to get yards, and will find a way to get into the end zone. And all that being said, with him being such a great wide receiver, he deserves a pretty sizable contract, whether that's the Packers going to give it to him after the season or another team. Someone is going to pay him because his route running ability is insane. His catch radius is crazy. He doesn't drop the ball ever, and he's a full-on team guy. So give him the contract.
Yeah, they got to pay a guy like that after the season he had. And like you said, PFF doesn't really give out those 90 over grades just that easily. He earned that last year. He was one of the best players you could ask for offensively. And, wow, he is somebody that is going to break the bank when he gets his new deal. Somebody who's getting their first deal, and I want it to be a big one, is going to be Nick Chubb, man, in Cleveland. This guy, the last 2 seasons, oh, my God, he first off, his worst season technically is his rookie year, where he only started 9 games, and he was 4 yards short of 1,000. Since then, he's had almost a 1,500-yard season, and last year he almost had 1,100 yards and 12 touchdowns, while splitting, a backfield with Kareem Hunt. And this is a guy who's a full team guy, like you were talking about before, team guys. He wants to get paid, obviously, and he's earned his keep here. But, the Browns' success is leaning on the shoulders of their run game right now. And I think that they need to pay Chubb like a top 5 back. I think they need to make sure that he stays around for this team. He's so good for Stefanski's system. He's so good. He helps the play action for Baker. It's going to make Baker a better player. It's going to open it up for the entire passing game for them. I love it, and I love the direction that this team is going right now. I love him as a player. He's an awesome guy. He's a hard worker. He's on the field. He's a great sport. I want to see this guy get paid big, and he deserves it.
Absolutely. Easily a top 5 running back in the league. True ground and pound guy with amazing bursts when he hits the hole. Oh, yeah. I'm going to Tampa Bay. I'm looking at another wide receiver. That's Chris Godwin. Look, he kind of had a down year in 2020, even though they won the Super Bowl. He had some injuries to start the season. That was evident as the season continued. Yeah. But I really don't expect that to last. I think he's going to be coming back fully healthy. He knows it's a contract year. He just signed his franchise tag. Everyone knows that this team is looking to repeat their Super Bowl run. They signed our 22 guys. He's only 25. It feels like he should be older than that. I somehow feel like he's been in the league longer than he has been, but it's only been 4 years, and he's 25, making him a great young option for the long term for a team. That's definitely another 6 seasons guaranteed. I expect the Buccaneers to make room to sign him to make sure that he stays there, but he's going to be looking at a pretty sizable contract considering that he has had 1,000-yard season on his career, and he's been an all-around great wide receiver for that team since he's come in, and we got to watch him on Hard Knocks his rookie season. So Chris Godwin, get paid. Tampa Bay, pay him.
Yeah, and now he's a champ. You talk about that 1,000-yard season on his resume and a ring on there. This man needs to get paid down there. Yep. I want to go and take one of your guys that you love for a quick sec, but I got to give him some love, and I got to make sure that he gets paid. Mark Andrews of the Baltimore Ravens. We're talking about a guy that was drafted, and everyone knew him as Baker Mayfield's college tight end. This is the same guy who got drafted in the 3rd round while this Ravens team took a tight end before they took Lamar Jackson in this draft. And now Hayden Hurst, the tight end he took before, he's out of there. Mark Andrews is now the team's top passing option, and even though their passing volume isn't always there, he's the guy it goes to. He's the guy who goes and gets touchdowns. I love seeing what he's been able to do these last couple of seasons in a high running volume offense where, they're not passing and going deep a lot. But what he's been able to do, he's got 3 seasons under his belt. He's got 20 touchdowns, 156 catches. I think that he's just an absolute weapon, and not paying a tight end nowadays when you have somebody with so much talent, and he's a third round pick the last 4 years, you haven't been paying him that much. He is somebody that definitely has to get paid in my book.
Yeah, Ravens gonna need to figure out some cap issues moving forward, because they're also gonna need to pay Lamar at some point, and possibly Marquise Brown. But you're definitely right. Andrews is going to look at a sizable contract. I'm gonna flip it to the defensive side of the ball. One of the Jets' bright spots on defense, Marcus May. He signed his franchise tag in the offseason. He was the 5th ranked safety according to PFF with an 82.9. He was great. And honestly, when you bring in a defensive-minded coach like Robert Saleh, who's going to absolutely just change this entire defense and what we're going to see from them this upcoming season, May is going to thrive in that season, in that system for sure. So I was going to bring the best out of these guys. I'm looking at Quentin Williams as well to really explode again onto the scene. He had a great season last year. May's only 28. He's going to be a guy around for at least 4 more years, 5 more years, 6 more years, maybe, depending on how he goes health-wise. He can bring a lot to this team. He had 2 sacks last season. I can really see Saleh bringing him more on these blitz packages to get after the quarterback. And in like a 50-50 division in the AFC East, it gives you an opportunity to really maybe win a few games with the defensive side of the ball instead of having to rely on your 2nd overall pick, Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, and Marcus May, very underrated talent. Fifth highest grade safety. You go pay a guy that gives you that much production, and you've been a big guy on Robert Saleh, how he's going to change this team. What's better for a new defensive coordinator than a guy all the way back there calling the plays for you? CJ Mosley coming back, he's going to need to make sure he keeps these loyal defensive pieces around that have been productive for that Jets team. That's not always the most productive team season by season. For me, I'm going to go with a guy who, just absolutely dominates. And you brought up, about just some of these guys, how loyal they are. Darius Leonard is, he's just one of the most feared people in the NFL. He's able to come off the edge. He's able to call the plays from the middle linebacker spot like he's Bobby Wagner. This is somebody that you can utilize on a tough top 10 defense, and he's only 25 years old. He was a 2nd round pick. You need to be able to keep these high, draft picks around. But last season, this guy had 132 tackles, 3 forced fumbles, 3 sacks. He's going to be looking for top 5 money. He's going to be looking to be paid, about, $15-16 million a year. Some of these linebackers are looking and pushing 20 right now. He could even push something like that. The Colts have been saving their money to break the bank for guys like him, Quentin Nelson, young pieces that they want to keep around for a long time. And when you look at him, he has high grades on everything that he does. He's an all-around player. I can't tell you how much I'm excited for a guy like this who was criticized for getting drafted by this team. They said he didn't fit, and he went out, won Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's ready to go get paid.
Defensive leader, definitely a top 5 linebacker, deserves top 5 money because he's a top 5 linebacker. My last guy, it's TJ Watt, man. I mean, we talk about him all the time. 7+ sacks in each of his years since being drafted, 3 straight Pro Bowls, 2 straight All-Pros, led the league in sacks last year with 15. Like his older brother, you have to game plan around what it is that TJ does. You can't just leave him out of the equation at any given moment. He's the kind of guy that will step up and make a play when it matters most and when the team needs him most. He's just that kind of guy. 2nd highest rated edge rusher according to PFF, 91.6, 26 years old, okay?
Wow. Yeah.
He is not 27. He's not 28. This dude is young, only 2 years older than us. Going to be around for a long time in the NFL. I'm sorry to everyone in the AFC North that's going to have to deal with that. But if you're a Steelers fan, you want him on your team. You want him around for the long run. He's been absolute menace for this Steelers team that's been phenomenal and look like the steel curtain defensively of old.
Yeah, no, oh my God. And, I'm a big TJ Watt guy. I think that he's going to dominate this year. I'm hyped for the Steelers. But they're going to have to make sure that they pay all of those guys. They've had some cap issues, and they got to make some room for your guy, TJ Watt, because he's going to be looking for a good amount of money coming up. My last guy here, say on the defensive side, it's a tough one for me here. Jamal Adams right now holding out of camp, looking for $20 million a year. That would be, just an incredibly high amount for a safety right now. He's right now the highest paid is Justin Simmons in Denver, making 15. So you can see how Seattle is definitely taking their time with this. But this is a guy who got to get paid. When we saw from him last year, he was able to get 9.5 sacks. He wasn't able to get it really done in the pass coverage game, but he is a dominant force wherever he goes. He had 83 tackles last year. He's all over the field. Seattle is going to have some tough competition to deal with, and they traded first-round picks to get him just recently, just the last 2 years. And now we want to really see Jamal Adams give that return on investment that Seattle put in. Him holding out is really tough, and he's somebody that needs to get paid right now, or it could be disastrous for this team.
Yeah, look, if Seattle doesn't pay him, someone's going to pay him. So if I'm Adams, I'm looking at anyone who's willing to give me the contract that I know I deserve, considering what I've been able to do throughout my entire career. And like
Absolutely.
you said, 9.5 sacks from the safety position. That is not an easy feat. That does not happen. I actually think he has the
NFL
most
record,
all time. Yeah. So Adams, breaking NFL records, deserves that kind of contract. But that's all the time that we have. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you everyone for listening. Enjoy.
Of course, and always remember to check us out, Just Saying Football, Just Saying No GWJS on Instagram for all your updates, Just Saying Football on YouTube, and JustSayingFootball.com. Check us out.